Hey class, picking up where we left off, we have our door schedule created now. And the reason I brought the family in is because I am going to use the family name as my description. You can see that the description is blank because that parameter of these doors has not been filled out yet. But I don't want to call my description, I don't want to call my door interior single 2-panel wood using the naming convention of the family, even though that essentially describes it. I'm going to make some formatting changes. I'm going to call this interior single, or sorry, interior 2-panel. I can't remember. I got to look at my final deliverable here for my cover sheet. Give me a second here. Actually, that one is, I don't have these sorted. So let's start there first. Sorry about that. What we're going to do is we are going to sort and group, just like we did the windows, and we're going to do that by the mark. So the first row here. Whoops, mark. And again, we want to itemize, actually itemize every instance. They're all going to be different instances. So we're going to leave that checked and we're going to hit OK. And now everything's in order. And now we can change the description of this to exterior. Of course, it's a door and it's in the door schedule. We don't need to say door. And we're going to call it half glass. I think that's what I did. Exterior half glass, yes. Oops. Hit enter. This window will come up often. It'll say this change will be applied to all elements of this type, and you say OK. What that's doing is the schedule is tied to that door. So if I change the description here and I go and I find that door, which is right here, it's even still selected, and I let's see, is that in here? That's not, that's a family, or sorry, a type parameter. There you go, description exterior half glass. So the schedule is tied to the model. So you're going to go through here and put in the descriptions. You can either get them from the families, or you could just look at the final deliverable. That's probably the easier way. However, I wanted to show you this because, well, now I have a row here that I need to get rid of. Well, that's simple. I can just go back to my properties, edit the fields, and I can say I don't need the family anymore, and you can remove it. Excuse me, a field just as easy as you can add a field. And that's what it's going to look like. You're going to fill out your descriptions to be the same as the final deliverable. Now the construction types, I believe yours will also be empty. So let me fix this too. Mine's pulling data from a previous file. I don't know why this isn't deleting. Let me just quick do this. Okay, so your door schedule will not have a construction type because when we create this row or this column, this parameter has not been filled out yet. And we don't know the construction type yet until we create our door legend, because that's going to tie back to the door legend. So why don't we at this point create our door legend? So we're going to come over here to Legends, right click and say New Legend. And we're going to call this the door legend. 1/4 inch equals a foot's fine. We can always change that later. Hit OK. And what we have is a door legend. You'll notice it's just a big blank white space. And now what we will do is we are going to draw the elevations of each of our doors so that we can give them a a construction type A, B, C, D, E, and tie that back to our our door schedule. So how do you create a door? Well, you go to the annotate, because a door legend is all 2-dimensional. It is not technically a 3D drawing. So we're going to go to annotate, and we could come in here and we could draw a bunch of detail lines to draw that door, but there's a much easier way. If you go to component and you press the down arrow, we can create a legend component. And that, as it says, it adds a graphic representation of a selected model element to a legend view. So we're going to click on that, and you'll notice that our options bar has changed here, and it says family. Well, mine's set from the last thing that I was in, but these are all the things that we can create in our legend, and they're essentially families and types. So all of the things that we have in our model show up here, and we can create a legend of those. So what we want, we're going to start with the exterior single half flat glass door. So that's the front door family. We're going to click on that, and you'll see that when I hover over my empty white space, it shows me that door because it's in floor plan. What we're going to do is we're going to change that in the options bar to front, and we're just going to click to place it, and that's all you have to do. There's your door. We don't have to redraw it. You may want to change this to a medium. Actually, that doesn't matter. If you change it to fine, you'll see that it actually adds, well, I thought it did. Maybe I'm wrong. Nope, these are all the same. We'll leave it at coarse. So what you're going to do is create the door legend by placing legend components. So I'm going to place another one. I'm going to change this to interior. I'm going to find the single 2-panel wood door, and you can choose any size. Generally, I choose the most common one. Our most common is the 30 by 84, I believe. And you'll also notice that Revit picks up that inference, so it knows that you want to place that door so it's in line with that door, and so on and so forth. We just keep placing these legend components. I'd have to look at my final deliverable to see what I did next. Next was the single pocket door. So we come in here, and we find single pocket 2-panel wood, and we place that with the relative same distance between. The next is the double pocket, so we find that one, double sliding pocket. We'll go with the, I don't know which one I used in my drawing, probably the 48-inch one. So that works. Actually, I don't think we have a 48-inch in the drawing. Again, these are only legends, and I didn't get this lined up either, so let's fix that. So it doesn't really matter if this is graphically represented. If we only have one of these doors in the model, we don't actually have to show the exact same door. It's just so that we understand what this door looks like at elevation and how it operates, because you'll see these little lines that indicate that this is a sliding. I wanted the pocket door. Where's my double pocket? There we go. Oh, that's why. This does only show the 5-foot one, because we only have that one type in the model. And then finally, we can do that again to create our sliding. This time I will use, where did it go? That one. And there is my door legend. All I have to do is add some text. So again, annotate tab, text, place a little text box under this, give it an A, and then you can move this around after the fact, get it centered up. Now, a convenient way to make more of these is I could go to text, I could create another text box, or I could simply copy this. And the fastest way to copy this is hold the Shift key and then drag it over. Oops, nope, sorry, not the Shift key, Control key, and drag that over, and it makes a copy as you drag it. And I can just simply pop all those in there. Then I can edit this to be B, all caps, C, D, and E. So now I have my types. Since I've got that done, I'm going to jump back to my cover sheet. Just like any view, I just drag it onto the sheet, and I'm going to put it below the window schedule. And I didn't talk about the scale. I kind of glossed over that. The scale is fine at 1/4 inch equals a foot. That fits perfectly here. Then we're going to go back to our door schedule, And now that we know these types, we could say, okay, this is A. It's going to say again, this will be applied to all elements. Just say okay. And again, I'm going to pop this open. Look at this because it's faster. And this is B. Hit OK. D. Okay. So on and so forth. In my final deliverable, so again, on this one, we're going to change the appearance. We are going to get rid of the blank row before the data. We're going to hit OK. And we are going to change this to be number. Construction type is fine. Type we're going to call size. And description is fine. And again, all of these, we're going to change our font to be bold. So on and so forth. Don't forget to fill out your descriptions for all of these. Again, you can get that from the final deliverable, or you can simply, double check that you are putting the right information in, that this is an interior 2-panel wood. Compare it to the family. So finish that up, and then again, go back to your cover sheet. And then it's a simple matter of dragging your window schedule over to here. Oops, not window, the door schedule. Let's get the right schedule. So there's our door schedule. I'm going to align the tops of these, the top of this and the side of this, so I get nice alignments. That makes my sheet look nicer. You may have to, again, modify these so that they show only on one line. I like all this stuff to be on one line. And that wraps up the assignment for this week. You will print this cover sheet because this is where all our schedules went, and you'll also print your first floor and second floor plans so that we can see the room names that we've added, as well as the window and door tags that tie back into your schedule.